A protester threatened to kill an ICE officer's family. If the allegations are true, that's a crime. But then the FBI announced the arrest by threatening people as well. I'm serious. Hi, I'm Nate Charles, and welcome back to the Rule of Law Brief. On May 27, 2026, outside the Delaney Hall ICE detention facility in Newark, a protester named Nicholas Matthew Scelfo allegedly crossed a line that the First Amendment does not protect. According to a federal criminal complaint, Scelfo pointed at an ICE officer and shouted, "I'll kill your whole fucking family. Your whole fucking family is dead. Your children, your wife, all dead. I have your face, motherfucker. You're dead, dead." Now, if those allegations are true, that is not protected political speech. That is not peaceful protest. That is what courts routinely refer to as a true threat. You do not have a constitutional right to threaten to murder a law enforcement officer's family. If the government proves these allegations beyond a reasonable doubt, a conviction would not be surprising. But that's not actually the part of this story that caught my attention. What caught my attention was the FBI's response. In announcing the arrest, FBI Director Kash Patel issued a statement praising the investigation and then declared, "Let this be a message to any criminal actor who may try something similar. You touch a cop and this FBI will put you down. Period." End quote. Now let's be clear about something. I'm not saying that Kash Patel committed the same crime that Mr. Scelfo did. As a legal matter, there's a distinction in the facts here. Criminal threat statutes generally require a serious threat directed at a particular person or an identifiable target. Patel's statement was broad, generalized, and ambiguous. A prosecutor would have a very difficult time turning the statement into a criminal case. But that doesn't mean it was an appropriate statement, and it doesn't mean we can't enjoy the irony in it. The FBI is announcing an arrest based on an alleged threat of violence. At the same time, the director of the FBI is using language that sounds remarkably similar to the very rhetoric he is condemning. What exactly does "put you down" mean? If he means arrest you, then say arrest you. If he means prosecute you, then say prosecute you. If he means convict you, then say convict you. Because here's the thing, the FBI's job in a constitutional republic is not to put people down. The FBI's job is to investigate crimes, gather evidence, obtain warrants, make arrests, and present cases in court with the assistance of the U.S. Attorney's Office. And this gets to one of the major problems with Kash Patel. The Office of FBI Director requires maturity, discipline, and respect for constitutional norms. Instead, Kash Patel routinely sounds like someone who mistakes swagger for competence and threats for leadership. The government has a public duty to be precise about the use of force because the government possesses powers that ordinary citizens do not. Which gets to another detail of this that requires attention. Buried in the criminal complaint is an allegation that, before Mr. Scelfo made his threat, there had been a physical altercation between Scelfo and an ICE officer. According to the complaint itself, an officer struck Scelfo's leg twice with a baton during crowd control operations. Now, does that justify threatening to kill someone's family? Absolutely not. Nothing about that allegation excuses the threat if the threat occurred as it was alleged in the complaint. But it does provide context that was largely absent from the FBI's public messaging. The lesson here is not that Scelfo did nothing wrong. He probably did. The lesson is that two things can be true at the same time. A protester can cross the line into criminal conduct, in this case, by making a true threat against a law enforcement officer. But at the same time, government officials have an obligation to speak carefully and in a manner that is consistent with the rule of law. The Constitution demands restraint from citizens, but it demands equal restraint from those who wield the power of the state. And in fact, it demands more restraint from those who wield the power of the state. When the nation's top law enforcement officers start sounding less like guardians of due process and more like internet tough guys, that's something every American should be concerned with.